Yes. Right. Welcome to another episode of Healing Chat. Today we have a superwoman, Dr. Claire. Dr. Claire is someone you would want to meet once or twice in your lifetime. She is very passionate about women.
Hey, my God. Okay. I was just listening to you, wondering who you were talking about. Yeah.
She is very much passionate about women and female empowerment and also gender violence. So today we're gonna do a deep dive into it as well. And shame. Why do we let shame stop us from going for what we deserve? We're gonna do a deep dive in today and have a chat with Dr. Claire. If you're just watching, make sure you subscribe, follow, and share this episode of Healing Chat. Let's go. Tell us, Dr. Claire, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
I'm all right.
I feel like my skin needs a bit of your turmeric scrub before we go into this.
That's fine. We're gonna organize that for you.
Listen, I need all the love from that turmeric. And then the strawberry for the weekends, the strawberry scrub.
You know what? The turmeric and the strawberry scrubs has been popping off on TikTok right now.
Oh, God.
Definitely all on trend, and we can organize that for you. You've gone to the right.
Yeah.
Tell us, Dr. Claire. Who is Dr. Claire? Beyond the title, all of the work you do, who is Dr. Claire? Or who is Claire?
I think Claire is just a human who wants to be remembered for being that sister, that auntie, that nephew, that daughter, that neighbor who was kind and generous with her time and impact. So yeah.
It's like, have you heard about that term African auntie?
What do
you think about that?
No, I do not want to. Disclaimer, I do not want to be African auntie.
No.
Because those are the ones who actually shame you.
I see.
Are the ones.
That's true.
You shameless, but so yeah, I do not want to. Disclaimer, I'm your African auntie, but with a twist, maybe. I'm your African sister, but with a twist, maybe.
So when you say like the refined African auntie?
It's the revised standard version.
Love that. Love that term. Love that term.
Yeah.
What is one thing that people often misunderstood with you?
Ooh, could I say that I don't care? Do you know what I mean? So I really don't, because to your own chagrin, really, if you misunderstand me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It just unfortunately shows that you've not taken time to observe before reporting.
Yeah.
But again, it goes to the crux. It goes back to what I say about being shameless. Mm-hmm. I don't really care that you misunderstand me, because I think if you possibly took time to ask questions, maybe you wouldn't have that misunderstanding.
Yeah.
But yeah, on a lighter note, it will be that I do not know how to cook. Yeah. But I love cooking.
I wouldn't think of that. I would think like you're a good cook.
Sweet. You're my vibe. You are my vibe, definitely. Yeah. But again, my friends are like, oh, Claire, I can't believe you know how to cook. I'm like, wow, I love food. So yeah. But again, cooking for me is normally an event. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not your regular. I have to be in the kitchen all the time. No, there's not much time to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I do love to cook. Because cooking is art. So I see it as an expression of my artistic nature, artistry as well. Yeah.
Tell us about him. This is something you're very big on.
Yes.
And I've seen you say it twice.
Yes. I am big on shame, because I think that is one word, or that is a syndrome that has held women back globally. And then when it comes to African women, it has held us back. And then women in diaspora, it has held us back. Back to, I think I became really aware of this word during my doctorate. My doctorate was on gender-based violence. I studied attitudes and experiences of, health professionals within a certain community, African community, in dealing with domestic violence. And some of the words the major word that came out of that research was shame. That women, it's a shameful thing for a woman to share that her husband has been beating her. And I didn't understand why health professionals, would associate it's almost like having shame means that you're well grounded in your culture and traditions. And so for me, that sort of triggered, something in my brain. I'm like, that is wrong. So I'm an advocate. I started advocating for shamelessness even within my creative practice. So it's important for women to be shameless.
Do you have any personal experience?
Oh yeah, I do. Because again, before I got into I had wanted to do something totally different in my doctorate research, but my elder sister went through a very gory experience with gender-based violence. She lost her kids to the abusive relationship. And I remember sitting at the library of the uni I studied, and I was asking myself, why did she not speak up? Then I now started replaying some of the conversations her friends did. Will say to her, what do you think people will think? You need to stay. And I'm thinking, who are
those people? Yes.
So one now said it's a shameful thing. You haven't even entered. Again, I'm using some of our colloquial expressions. You haven't even entered and you're coming out. It's a shameful thing.
Of the marriage. You're referring to the marriage.
Yeah, you haven't entered the marriage, and we are coming out is a shameful thing. So that was why, again, this was even before I went to the field to do my research. So I said to myself, being a social scientist, right, do not just decide that this is the reason, just get on the field. And then hearing medical practitioners and health social workers say to me, oh, it's a shameful thing for women to come into the hospital to tell them that their husband was hitting them or that they were going through abusive stuff, so that it was a shameful thing. And I'm thinking, whoa, something went off in my brain. It's high time I became shameless. And I started practicing shamelessness. So shamelessness became a practice for me as a person. And again, I say to people, I'm Jode Nigerian. One of my favorite quotes, in the shy bands get not.
Yes.
So again, the crux of it is, if you are shy, if you are not shameless, you probably wouldn't get anything out of the life you're living. So I started advocating in my own way through my volunteering and through anything I do, that losing shame is probably the best gift that a woman will give herself. So thankfully, my sister lost her shame.
Yes.
And she's blossomed. She's flourishing, without shame, shamelessly flourishing. You see, so I want women to see being shameless as a very positive thing.
Why do you think that is very important in our African culture, and specifically to women?
Our women have died because of shame. A lot of women have lost their lives. I know a friend. She died because of shame. What people will say if I leave my husband. The man killed her, buried her. She has 4 daughters with no mother. And the man has moved on to marry again. So that's the thing. Let me not tell my friends so that they'll laugh at me. You see? And this is just one aspect of it. But that thing of, because of shame, I will not ask for help. These are limiting things. These are limiting traits, Honestly, it's limiting.
Why is advocating for women so important?
It is important to me because nobody can advocate for a woman, a fellow woman, better than a woman. I'm super thankful for the men that support us. But I think that I would advocate for you better than a man would do, just like you would advocate for me better than a man would do. Because we know where it hurts. We know where it hurts. So for me, I'm passionate about it, and women are the future, whether we like it or not.
100%.
Women are the future. Talk about reproduction, as it were, biologically. It's women. Without women, there wouldn't be. So imagine that, So for me, that is just, I keep it simple, I don't want to go into the science of it or the philosophy of it, but I feel like a woman would always do that job much better than any person.
What conversation around women, healing, and domestic violence are we not speaking much about as a society? Conversation, like we have around healing and domestic violence. When we talk about shame and it relates with women staying in a marriage, a relationship, they are having domestic violence going on behind, but they don't want to leave because of shame. Shame is one aspect, but what are other aspects of domestic violence that we are?
I think that bit of financial disempowerment.
Yes.
Again, that is why women stay, because if you notice the way abusers work, the first thing they do is they tell you, especially in some African settings, even in diaspora, some of the work, he said I shouldn't work, that I should stay home and take care of the kids. So the woman is constantly pregnant every other 9 months, even with your apple cider vinegar gummies. I'm sorry, her tummy is always big because she's always cooking a bun.
Yeah.
The man keeps her pregnant. If she's not pregnant, she's dealing with a child. She's raising a child. So she has no time to even think about, making some income for. I believe in something called she money.
Yes.
And every woman needs she money, even if it's £1.
Yeah.
To your name. So I think that's the bit we don't talk about.
I love that term, by the way, she money.
Yeah. She money is super important.
Yeah.
She money is the money that allows you to do whatever you want. Buy as much tea as you want.
You know what? It's so correlative that you just said that. I was just speaking on a podcast as a guest, and the host asked me, "You've got Solutions, it's a wellness brand. How does that correlate with what you do with CAS UK on the Blueprint Academy?" And I said, this is because we can stay all day and preach about self-care, taking care of yourself as a woman. And if you cannot afford to be able to leave that marriage or that job that you're not happy in, then you're going to stay in that situation. And this is why Blueprint Academy exists. Under that, I mentor women on how to be able to start and scale their own businesses using the skills they already have. Even like it can be a stay-at-home mom. We don't understand how much skills we acquire being a mom.
Listen, being a mom is such a huge job. I was saying to someone the other day, actually myself, that's a someone, I was saying that oftentimes we forget that one of the greatest miracles is a woman being pregnant, the tummy keeps growing and she's still juggling a trillion things. So now she's got an extra person that she's carrying for 9 months.
Yeah.
She's still cooking, cleaning, working. Still being the home manager, still being the administrator if she's in a relationship, still doing other things. So that is a job in itself, an unpaid job.
Yeah.
And some women do that for up to 50 years. People, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or more than, do you know what I mean? So it's thank you for the Blueprint Academy, because that's something that oftentimes people overlook it, but that's so important.
It is. It is.
Just creating that space where you can say to a woman, right, you are not without skills.
Yeah.
But let's see how we can leverage what you've got.
That's right.
And make it work.
That's right.
Yeah, so again, you are an advocate of she money.
I said I love that. That's why I said she money. Let's register that on them. It's back down by because I'm gonna steal it.
Please, steal away. Steal away. There's more where that came from.
What does healing actually look like?
Healing for me is a process, especially when it comes to someone in terms of abuse.
Yes.
There's that stage where you need to detoxify. Again, sorry, this tea is so good that I keep making references to it. But part of it is, yes, you've left the abusive relationship, but is the abuse still living in your system? Sometimes, another thing with women is sometimes we nurture the abuser, and we nurture the abuse into our own life, that we start self-abusing ourselves without knowing we are like that. Because we now believe in all the words that have been spoken to us and all the negative things that even when we've succeeded in leaving that thing, we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that we can move on from there. Do you know what I mean? We don't even believe that there's a future. I've seen women who, because of the abusive relationship they've been in, they can't even date again. So that's it. So detoxification is my first step.
Why do so many women feel guilty for themselves?
Again, I think if you don't understand that self-love is important and that loving yourself is not selfishness,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And that's where, because if you love yourself, you don't feel guilty about, just being. Do you know what I mean? I was saying to someone said to me one time that you like yourself a lot because they asked me, what are you doing? I said, I'm quite busy. "Oh, what are you busy doing?" I said, I'm busy sleeping. And they started laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing? Said, who says they are busy sleeping? I'm like, that's my job. Because I need to rest. My body needs to rest. What I'm busy doing, just taking that time. And that's why one of the things I don't do is I don't rush out of the bathroom. I take time and enjoy my shower time. That's my me time. It's not being me, it's me preparing to serve my community. It's part of my preparation to serve my community, to come out the best version of myself. So it's unfortunate. I think a lot of our women, we need to recalibrate how we think about ourselves. That recalibration is what helps us prosper. That's true. Is what helps us prosper.
Do you know our motto here at Tanisha's self-care is not selfish?
Well,
Survival. Do you know that?
Self-care is not selfish, but
it's survival.
Besides survival, add its thriving to it.
Thriving.
It is thriving. Because survival means you're constantly battling and winning something. But thriving is when you have realized that this is the way I should live. So I'm maintaining this new thing about me. This is the new momentum. This is the new thing where we are now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not struggling to be here. Yeah?
I'm
not struggling to be here.
Yeah.
This is where we are. This is the new me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, and we thrive, we flourish, darling.
That's true.
We thrive, we flourish.
But self-care is not selfish.
It's not selfish.
And its survival has been something like I see where the angle you come at it from. It is the angle where even in your survival mode or your survival era, you should be able to self-care for yourself.
Okay.
That's what it is.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. So even when you're struggling, self-care is still key.
That's what it is.
Even when you're struggling. I mean, again, that's important. Maybe our women in diaspora need this because you see some of them going for all these early morning shifts and they look like the shift has really dealt with them before because they have relegated self-care to the backbench.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it shouldn't be that way. And self-care is just beyond your makeup splattering. Where is your mind that day? Do you have a plan? Did you sleep well? Did you drink enough water?
Yes.
Have you thought about the way you should be spoken to when you're going there?
Yeah.
Are you taking the right steps to speak to people the right way and people speaking to you the right way? What do you have boundaries? Because I think, again, back to domestic violence, the culture, that seems to be promoted, which if you look at it, it's not really a tradition, is that culture of women having no boundaries, that you take whatever. Take it. You have entered now. Be there. Yeah. I'm sorry. Those nuances, those African things would always come. Take it. You have to endure, and so there's no boundary. That is often what leads to abuse, and domestic violence.
What would you say to a woman that is trapped in a relationship right now because of fear, shame, and what people would say? You just have to look in the camera right here as a woman.
Dear woman,
clip it to me.